So we're gonna go to the question of 4 to 8. I know that some of you just write the answer on the chat box. I'm sorry, on the homework, but you're gonna write it today on the chat box. Let's go to domain 2. Second skill, text structure. We are still in the concept itself. Okay, me write the answer for number 4, please. Even if you answer it and send it to me. Me write the answer for number 4, please, on the chat box. Okay, I go the answer from Nada and from Ahmed and from Qabbani. And from Juri. Waiting for Hussam. Hussam, it was homework, Hussam. You're the only person that didn't send the homework. And Rahaf. Hussam and Rahaf. I got the answer from Hussam, waiting for Rahaf. It was homework also, Rahaf. Okay. All of you actually answered it right. Let's have a look at the answer together. The answer is C. Here is the function of the underlined sentence. And if you remember, when I speak about this kind of skill, or sub-skill, actually, I told you that the answer lay on the underlined part. But you can connect it to what come before and what come after. You can connect it, but not all the time. Not all the time. So here he said, which choice describe the function of the underlined sentence? As I told you again, the answer is here. But I'm going to read. A sentence before and sentence after. He said, she cropped the watts. No, Muhammad Qabani, one by one, please. One by one. One by one. She cropped the watts. She knew so well. Okay, she knew so well the underlying part that I'm asking about. The trees seem to extend their branches like welcoming arms. They greeted her as an old friend. Thank you. So it suggests that Shakti, maybe the narrator, I'm sorry, the one that here, feels uncomfortable. How? She said that the trees extend their branches like welcoming arms. So how uncomfortable? It indicates that Shakti has lost her sense of direction in the once. No, again. No, again. It emphasized Shakti's sense of belonging in the landscape. Yes, because now it make a kind of figurative language. The trees or personification, the trees start to be like a human welcoming her. So it can be. It conveys Shakti's appreciation for her long-term friendship. No, Shakti that shows, the tree that shows. So it's not. So the answer is C. Let's go to number 5. Write the answer in the chat box. I got it from Nada. I got it from Juri. I got it from Ahmed. From Rahaf. From Qabbani. Waiting for Hussein. Okay, all of you also got it right. What here? The purpose. The purpose. How we answered the purpose? Read the first sentence and the last sentence. And if you miss between more than one answer, read the whole text. So here he said, in 1973, poet Magwell Algerine started inviting other writers who, like him, were Nuyorican. What the meaning of this term? A term for New Yorkers of Puerto Rican heritage, mean the people that they are American, but they are actually from Puerto Rico. Why? Together in his apartment to present their work. Okay. The last sentence, half a century since its inception. Which inception? Of what happened by Algerine. It continued to foster, to enhance emerging Norican talent. Okay, let's look at A. It explained what motivated Al Gharain to found the Norican Cafe, Poet Cafe. Maybe because he said to foster. So maybe. It situated the Norican Poet Cafe within the cultural life in New York as a whole. No, it doesn't talk about that. It just talked about the objective. It discusses why the Norican Poets Cafe expanded its scope to include art and music. No, he said only present their work, and their work means all writers. He said writers who like him, So art and music, it wasn't involved. Art and music, it wasn't involved here. It provides an overview of the founding and mission of the Norican Poet Cafe. Yes, there is a mission here to foster. And even he talked about the founding, when they started. So it can be this, unfortunately, because we have more than one answer, we have to read the whole text. The gatherings were so well attended that Al Gharain soon had to rent space in a cafe to accommodate them. Thus, the Norican Poet Cafe was born. Moving to a permanent location in 1981, the Norican Poet Cafe expanded its original scope beyond the written word, hosting art exhibition and musical performances as well. I'm not going to return back again to this part. What I eliminated. So to explain what motivated Al Gharain to found the Norican Poet Cafe, no, it doesn't talk about actually the motivation. But he talk about the founding and how it started to be expanded and about the mission. So the answer is D. Let's go to number 6. I got it from Nada. From Juri. From Qabbani. From Husam. Why Nada is repeated twice? No, I think I did a mistake. Okay. So Nada, Juri, Qabbani, Husam didn't submit till now. Okay.
Mister, I did submit.
Okay, I'm just moving by turn. Just wait, Husam, because I take the question before. From Rahaf. From Ahmed and from Husam. All of you write also? The overall structure. We have Dr. Tamer's technique. How we can solve this? We look at the first sentence only, and then the first part. Okay. He said here, mathematician Claude Shannon is widely regarded as a foundational figure in information theory. Let's look at the first part. It introduces a respected researchers. Yes, that's right. Mathematician Claude. It named the company where an important mathematician worked. No, it doesn't talk about the company. It mentioned a paper. He said information theory. Is this a paper? It can be. It presents a theoretical concept. Again, he said foundational figure in information theory. It can be. So now it can be A, C, and D. What we're going to do now, read the rest. His most important paper. Wait. I'm going to cancel this. Because paper is what's mentioned second. So now I'm between A or D. His most important paper, A Mathematical Theory of Communication, published in 1948, when he was employed at Bell Labs, utilized a concept called a binary digit, shortened to bit, to measure the amount of information in any signal and determine the fastest rate at which information could be transmitted, while still being reliably decipherable. Robert Gallup, one of Shannon's colleagues, said that the bit was Shannon's discovery, and from it the whole communication revolution has sprung. Okay, let's find. Describe an aspect of his work, yes. And suggest why work is historically significant, yes, even by the commentary of his friend. Let's look at this one. Illustrate how the name of the concept has changed. It doesn't say that how it changed. And shows how the name has entered common usage. No. So the answer is A, as you mentioned. Let's go to number 7. I got the answer from Nada. I got the answer from Jury. From Rahaf. From Qabbani. From Ahmed. From Hussein. Again, all of you right. All of you right. The same thing, the overall structure, how you solve it, as we know. Many films from the early 1900s have been lost. So let's find. The text discuss several notable individuals? No. The text describe a general situation? Yes. That many films have been lost? It can be. The text identify complex problem? Yes, there is a problem. The text summarize a debate among researchers? No. So now I'm between B and C. Let's continue the rest. These losses include several films by the first wave of black women filmmakers. We know about these lost movies only from small pieces of evidence. For example, an advertisement for Jenny Lewis Towson Wilkins documentary doing their bit still exists. There is a reference in a magazine to Chelsea Sauderson's film, A Woman Error, and Mary B. William, The Flames of Wrath, is mentioned in a letter and the newspaper article, and one image from the movie was discovered in the 1990s. So let's find. Then illustrate that situation with a specific example. Yes, he give us examples here. Then illustrate examples of unsuccessful attempts. He doesn't talk about unsuccessful. He doesn't talk about, he only talks about that part or example of the one that lost. So the answer is B. The last question, number 8. I got the answer from Jury. From Nada. From Ahmed. From Qabbani. From Rahaf. Waiting for Hussein. And from Hussein. All of you also got it right. We are talking about the function of the underlying sentence. Don't forget that the answer lay on the underlying part. Only sometimes it's connected to what come before or what come after. We don't have after here. So here he said, he thought that activists who believed that black people such as himself should culturally assimilate were naive. But he also sharply criticized black nationalists such as Marcus Garvey, who wanted to establish independent, self-contained black economy and society. So he criticized, he's a black nationalist, but he criticized people that they want, like this one, that he wanted to set separated nation for black people. Even though Cruz himself identified as a black nationalist, okay, it indicates that Cruz's reputation as a persistent antagonist of other scholars is undeserved. He didn't say that it deserved, undeserved. The sentence. It described a controversy, a debate that Cruz's work caused within the black nationalist movement. We didn't talk about any debate. It described a direction that Cruz felt the civil rights movement ought to take, even though he just criticized people that they want to take a special movement. It helped explain Cruz's position with respect to the community of civil rights thinkers. Yes, his position that he is a black nationalist activist, but is not. He doesn't need to be or to take the black society alone. So the answer is D. Okay, perfect, guys. Now it's the start or the time for the quiz. So the first one, he won the main purpose. And as we know that the main purpose, we're going to read the first sentence and last sentence. So he said here, in many agriculture environments, the banks of streams are kept forested to protect water quality. So we have a reason for keep the banks of the stream forested, mean that has trees. But it's been unclear what effects these forests may have been on stream biodiversity, but there is a missing information. The last one, Jaime and colleagues found that species richness was significantly higher in forest streams. So it's not only to protect water quality, but also will increase the number of species that live on those streams. A finding that the researcher attribute to the role leaves from the forest or from the trees later play in sheltering fish from predators and providing food resources. So it explained the differences between stream protection strategies using oil palm plantation and stream protection strategies using other kinds of agriculture environments. We don't have any kind of comparison here between two different environments. It presents a study that addresses an unresolved question. Yes, here, what effect that these forests may have on stream biodiversity. About the presence of forests along streams and agricultural environment, yes. Yes, because of that later, we find that it will increase the number of species. C, it discusses research intended to settle a debate about how agriculture yields can be increased without negative effects on water quality. We didn't talk about the agricultural yields around. We're talking about only why forested area is important and how it will affect the stream biodiversity. D, it described findings that challenge a previously held view about how fish that inhabit streams in agriculture environments attempt to avoid predators. We didn't talk about previously held overview or debate. So the answer is B. Number 2, the overall structure. Let's find here. Michelin, destined to be a historian and citizen of Choctaw Nation, has identified an dilemma inherent to research on the status of women in her tribe during the 16th and the 17th. The primary sources from the era, travel narrative and other accounts by male European colonizers, underestimate the degree of power conferred on Choctaw women by their traditional roles in political, civic, and ceremonial life. So there is a problem like that. There is a problem that discovered by Michelin, best to be, and start mentioning because they depend on some primary sources. So because of that, this underestimate the role of women. So let's find. It detailed the shortcomings of certain historical resources. Yes, there are weaknesses. It describes a problem that arises in research on a particular topic. Yes, there is again a problem. It lists the advantages of particular research method. No advantages. It characterizes, and characterizes means something positive. A particular topic is especially challenging to research. No. So the answer between A and B. Let's continue. Besant B argued that the Choctaw oral tradition and finding from archaeological sites in the tribe's homeland supplement the written record by providing crucial insight into those roles. So now she give us how can we solve this problem. So let's find here the two that they are right. Then argue that research should avoid those sources altogether. No, she didn't say that we must avoid them. She said that we have to depend on others. So then sketch a historian approach to addressing that problem. Yes, to depend on oral tradition. So the answer is B. Let's go to number 3. Again, overall structure. Again, overall structure. So here he said, works of moral philosophy, such as Plato Republic or Aristotle Nicomachean Ethics, are partially concerned with how to live a morally good life. Okay, let's find. It mentioned two renowned works. Yes, yes, two renowned works. It summarized the history of a field of thought by discussing two works, but he didn't think about the history. He didn't talk about the history. No. It described two influential works. Yes, two influential works. It provides a characterization about a field of thought. Yes, we're talking about philosophy, more philosophy. By noting two works in it. Yes. So now the answer is between A, C, or D. Let's continue. But philosopher Jonathan Barnes argued that work that present a method of living such a life without also supplying a motive, some kind to encourage, are inherently useful only to those already wishing to be morally good. Only. It's going to be good for the people that they wish to live a good life. Those with no desire for moral goodness will not choose to follow their rules. However, some works of moral philosophy try to describe what constitutes a morally good life while also proposing reasons for living one. Okay, let's find here. Then claim that despite their popularity, these works, it's impossible for these works to serve the purpose their authors intended. We didn't talk about their popularity. And we said that it will serve the purpose if the people wish to live. So it's not. Here. Then explain why one is more widely read than the other. No, we didn't say that. The last one. Okay. And here. Then details a way in which some works in that field are more comprehensive than others. Yes, he said why other works are more valuable and comprehensive than others. Let's go to number 4. Which choice state the function? Again, the function with since before, since after, but the answer is here. Okay, let's find the since before. Researchers have found an early 164,000 year old molar, a kind of a piece of teeth, from a member of archaic human species known as Densophones in a cave in Laos, suggesting that Densophones lived in a wider range of environments than indicated by earlier evidence. So when they found this kind of piece or the moral, they knew that those people live in wider area than before. Okay, let's find here. Before the discovery of this moral, of this teeth, Densophones were thought to have lived only at high altitude in relatively cold climates in what are now Russia and China. But the discovery of the tooth in Laos suggests that they may have lived at low altitudes, not only at high and relatively warm climates in Southeast Asia as well. So it defines this. Is defining a term? No, it's not defining a term. It's not defining a term. It's just to clarify what, after the discovery of this tooth, what happened or why they start thinking. It emphasized the main goal of the research introduced in the previous sentence. No, it's not the main goal. It provides context that clarifies the significance of the information that follow in the rest of the sentence. Yes, because here he told us about the importance of the teeth. That before they think that they only live at high altitude. Now they know that they live also at, or they lived at low altitude. It dismisses as untrue the research present the previous sentence. No, it's the same thing. So the answer is C. The last question. He said which choice, again, the underlined sentence, like a sentence before. He said the fine, okay, here. When one has weighed the sun in the balance. As you know, that people now know the weight of the sun and measure the steps of the moon and mapped out the seven heavens star by star, there still remains oneself. Despite that the people know all these things, but they don't know themselves. Who can calculate the orbit of his own soul? Who knows himself? So it cautioned this sentence. It cautioned reader that the text direction for how to achieve self-knowledge are hard to follow. No, it's just a question to ask. It conceded that the definition of self-knowledge advanced in the text is unpopular. We didn't talk about that it's popular or unpopular. It reinforced the text skepticism. Yes, that they are not sure. It's a kind of hypothesis about the possibility of truly achieving self-knowledge. Yes, who know? Who can calculate the orbit of his own soul? It speculates that some readers will share the doubts expressed in the text about the value of self-knowledge. We didn't talk about the value of self-knowledge. Ahmed, any question relate to that one?
No.
Hussein? Hussein? Where are you, Hussein? Oh, Hussein is out. Qabani?
No questions.
Nada?
Yes, it's easy.
Rahaf?
No questions.
Okay, Juri?
No.
Hussein?
Yes, Mister.
Any question that you want in this skill?
Uh,
Okay. Now to the last skill of domain 2 and the last step in our basic course. The last thing. I wish that you are revising all the domains, whether domain 1, domain 3, domain 4, and domain 2 that we end our course with. This skill is called cross-text connection. Forget about the length of the question that you're going to see it in front of you, but wallahi, it's easy. It's easy, okay? Let me send for you the answer for the quiz first.
So this will be the last period in this skills, in the basic course.
It's we can't say that this is the last period because we still didn't start it, and you know that we have a quiz and we have a test for the whole domain, Ahmed.
Okay.
Okay, so the same steps that we moved on since the start of the basic course. We have the skill, then we finish all the skills and we take quiz for each skill. Then after that, we take a whole test for the whole domain. Okay. Okay, the last skill of domain 2 is called cross-text connection. Cross-text connection. And I call it, according to my words, tone. Why? Because here you have to put yourself in the shoes of one. You're going to find actually two texts under each other. Text 1 and text 2. And the question will ask you to compare between the two texts, contrast between the two texts, or how one text will reply to another. So because of that, I call it tone. I call it tone or point of view. How the question will look like? Let's have a look at the question itself. Forget about the length of the question. I don't care. Here, we have text 1 and text 2. Don't forget that in the beginning, I told you that we have three kind of questions relate to that kind of skill. Number 1, to ask you to compare between the two texts, means to show the similarities between them. Number 2, to show the differences between them. Number 3, how one text will reply to another. How one text to reply to another. But it has a kind of technique that you must know it. It has a kind of technique that you must know it. What is the technique? Let's find. Let's find. He said here, based on the texts, how what Caesar and colleague text 2, this is one of the questions that how one will reply to another. Does it ask about comparison or contrast? So how the text 2 most likely describe the view of the theorist presented in text 1. So now he needs from you. So how this one will reply to the view of the theorist in text 1. So I must put myself in the shoes of text 2 and take his point of view. So which one you're going to read first? You're going to read text 2 because the main thing, this is your point of view right now. So after that, you're going to find that how you're going to reply to this one. So I'm going to read text 2, then read text 1 to reply to it. To reply to it. Okay, let's read. He said here in 2010, a group of researchers, include biologist Carla Caesars, created artificial pools in a New York forest. They stocked some pools with a diverse mix of zooplankton species. So now she made artificial pools. And she put in some of them diverse mix of zooplankton species. And the other with a single zooplankton species, and allowed the pool to community to develop naturally thereafter. Over the course of 4 years, Caesar and colleagues periodically measured the species diversity here and there of the pools, finding contrary to their expectation, means opposite to what they expected. That by the end of the study, there was little to no difference in the pool species diversity. So by the end of 4 years, they found that the number of species in both the one that has diverse and the one that has individual start to be the same. And that was, the finding was contrary to their expectation, because they expected that the one that has diverse, it will be more than the one that has individual. But what they found out, that they had the same number. Okay, let's find how he's going to reply to the view of the theorist. He said, what factors influence the abundance of species in a given ecological community? Some theorists, this is what I want to reply to them. Some theorists have argued that historical diversity is a major driver of how a diverse and ecological community eventually becomes. What does it mean? Differences in community diversity across otherwise similar habitats, in this view, are strongly affected by the number of species living in those habitats at earlier times. Well, I'm going to reply them. Now, I'm the one that writes text 2. What I'm going to reply to them? I'm going to tell them, no. This what I thought before. But after my experiment, I found that this is contrary. And the number didn't affect them. Okay, let's find now how I'm going to reply to them. It's largely correct. No, it's not largely correct, because I found according to the experiment is wrong. It's not compelling as a theory. Yes, it's not compelling as a theory. Regardless of any experimental data. No, how regardless? It's regardful, the data that I gathered from the experiment that I did. It may seem plausible. Plausible means believable. Yes, it may be believable because I believe like you. I believe like them. But it's not supported by the research team finding. Yes, it's not supported by the experiment that I did. It probably holds true, maybe true. Only in condition like those research team had this. No, no, no. In my condition, actually, it's not true. So the answer is C. Ahmed. Clear, Ahmed?
Yes, yes.
Hussam.
Clear.
Qabbani.
Clear.
Nada.
Yes.
Rahaf.
Yes.
Juri.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's your turn. You're going to solve the first question. Let's find out. Take care. He said based on the text. How was the author of text 2? So you have to read this first and find the point of view. Most likely respond to the claim in the underlying sentence. Only you're going to find how text 2 replied to the underlying part. Don't read the whole thing. How text 2 find the point of view and then find how they're going to reply to the underlying part. Write the answer on the chat box, please. I got the answer from Ahmed. From Juri. From Qabbani. From Rahaf. Waiting for Sam and Nada. We got it from Hussam. Waiting for Nada. Okay, perfect. MashaAllah. All of you got it right. Let's find. He said, while interest rate policy played an important role in the Japanese real estate bubble, so did the tax system. So did the tax system. So he talk about here two options. He talk about two options: the interest rate and tax system that play roles in the Japanese real estate bubble. 1 and 2. The tax, but he start talking more about the tax. The tax on owning real estate was relatively low, whereas the tax on real estate transaction was very high. This caused people to hold on to real estate rather than sell it. So the people stopped to sell their stuff. And when they did sell, to do so at extremely high prices so that they could still make a profit after paying the transaction tax. Let's find here. The cause was simple. The Japanese government kept interest rate, you talk about interest rate here, on loans too low, nearly eliminating the risk of borrowing money to purchase property and thereby encouraging a mad rush of buyers chasing a limited amount of real estate. What I'm gonna tell them? What I'm gonna tell him? No, you talk only about interest rate, but there is another one. There is another one, the tax system. So let's find. By claiming that the author of text 1 is right, yes, he's right, about why the bubble occurred, but overstate the consequences of the bubble? No, no. He just didn't mention the second one, the second factor. By arguing that the author of text 1 correctly identify a significant factor, yes, the interest rate in the bubble, but neglect another one, yes, the tax system. So the answer is B. Let's look at C. By pointing out that there is a little evidence to support the idea that the factor identified by the author of text 1 played a part in the bubble? No, there are evidence, and even I mentioned it here. But the problem that he did mention the second factor. By asserting that the author of text 1 has conflated, means gathered, the cause of the bubble with an effect of the bubble? No. So the answer is B. Perfect, guys. Let's go to number 2. Here we start changing. Why? He said here, based on the text, how would the author of text 1 most likely respond to the underline? So now we have to read text 1 first. We have to read text 1 first and find how they're going to reply to the underlined part. I got the answer from Ahmed. from Kopeni, from Juri, from Rahaf. And from Nada, waiting for Hussein. And from Hussein. Okay. Unfortunately, we have two that they got this as a mistake. Let's read it together. As we said, that we need to find how text one will reply to the underlined part here. He said, heaven has appointed 1/6 the superior. We don't know that. He talked about male or female. And to the other, the subordinate. The other, the subordinate. So male or female superior, male or female subordinate. Station. And this without any references to the character or conduct of either. It therefore as much for the dignity as it's for the interest of females, in all respects to conform to the duties of this relation. But while woman holds a subordinate, so now we'll talk about the women here, act as subordinate. So men here are the superior, according to his point of view. In society to the other sex. It's not because it was designed that her duties or her influence should be any the less important or all pervading, but it was designed that the mode of gaining influence and of exercising power should be altogether different and peculiar. Okay, so now we know that the point of view of this one, that men are the superior, women are the subordinate. Let's find here what he said. Now, if rights are founded in the nature of our moral being, then the mere circumstance of sex doesn't give to man higher rights and responsibility than to women. Now, here he's gonna say no. Men are superior, women are subordinate. He's gonna make a debate with them. Let's find. So text one will feel sympathy with these words. No, he's not gonna feel any kind of sympathy actually. He will agree. Agreement? No, he will not agree. Dismay, sadness, maybe. He's gonna feel dismay, sadness. Because she feels that women actually have a more difficult role to play. No, he doesn't say that women have difficult role to play. Disagreement? Yes, she will disagree with this. Because she feels that the nature of men and women are fundamentally different. Yes, she said that. So because of that, men are higher, women are subordinate. So the answer is D. Clear, Nada?
Yes.
Clear off?
Yes.
Okay. I want you just to memorize. This kind of give you only 2 plus the example. And we're going to have homework related to that one for the next time. Homework related to that one for the next time. From 3 till 7. Don't forget that. Next time, we're going to have a quiz in this skill. See you next time. Goodbye.